Every damn day. Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. And today we've got our new friend Shaahin on the show, and we're going to talk about migrating or immigrating from Iran to the U.S., e-commerce, entrepreneurialism, a book he's got out, a mastery class, and a kick-ass podcast thing he's got going on. So how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jerry. Every damn day. I like that.
Yeah, we have that title because if you're a hustler, like an entrepreneur, you don't really get a day off, especially if you're accelerating and have that traction. But also if you live in poverty or you suffer from substance use or whatever, you don't get Christmas off. So many of us are always hustling on something. So thanks for liking the name. So where you at?
I'm in Los Angeles, but I'm going to say something controversial right now. I know we are live. Are we live on Facebook? Where are we live on?
Yeah, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
I love it. So you guys might disagree. And if you disagree, make sure to dislike. But if you agree, like, I think if you're living in poverty, the best thing you can do is stop right now. Now, I don't mean that if you have life circumstances that have brought you to a place where you are suffering. Everybody has that from time to time, no matter how much money you have. But poverty in general, I believe, is a mindset. You might be broke, but there's no reason for you to be poor. And I genuinely believe that being poor is a mindset. So if you feel that you are going through poverty or in poverty, it's good to learn stuff, but better to get yourself out of that mindset right now. I don't even like listening to that word poverty, to be honest with you. I like people to have abundance thinking. I like people to think about what their next step is. And once you learn my story, you'll understand why. Because a lot of people look at me and they go, oh, this guy's made millions of dollars. He's made over $1 billion in his career. And this guy is fucking telling me that I shouldn't be poor. Well, what the fuck's he know about my life and whatever? Well, I'll tell you, I came from Iran, what now is considered a third world country by first world standards. We came to this country with literally the clothes on our back. And my dad worked odd jobs and just to try to keep the family alive. He worked at a pizza shop. He worked at a dry cleaners, but he worked hard. And by the time I got to 15 years old, I realized there's all this money around. I wanted to be a part of the American dream, but we were poor. We didn't have any money. So I left home. I left college. I left high school. I didn't even go to high school. And I left home and left everything that I had, my friends, my family, everything. And I basically went to sleep in the back of an abandoned old car. I slept in abandoned buildings. I had no friends. I had no food. I had no resources. And I made everything I have today from absolute zero. And I truly believe that America, being the greatest country in the world, the greatest experiment in abundance and prosperity that has ever been conducted in the history of humankind, is the best place to do that. And now what I do is I teach and I inspire people on how to do that same thing, how to get out of selling your hours and get into that abundance mindset where that's possible.
I want to take out, you're getting thumbs up here because definitely in our crowd, we talk about abundance. We talk about the elimination of poverty. I love what you said about the mindset. So I don't think we're going to have any trouble with that. We do see a lot of obstacles in some people's way and meeting them where they're at and trying to change that mindset. But that when I don't like the word poverty. I'm going to try to stay away from it. But like a single mother in Lansing, Michigan, there's a 50-50 chance that she's making less than $20,000 a year and is struggling to pay rent and get food. Sure. And doesn't know how to change the mindset completely because her only mindset is, how am I going to feed the kid? What do you think about that?
I think that's not the person that I talk to or that I inspire. I mean, I have all the respect in the world for mothers and for a single mother in Michigan. I think, look, there's a lot of opportunities, but your primary function is going to be a mother for that child. And so that goes into a whole world of stuff that
Yeah.
I am not qualified to speak on. But the person who I like to inspire is the people who I think my message resonates the most with are going to be people who find themselves in a position where they want to get to the next level in their lives. People who look at wealth and they look at success in the world and they go, man, look at that guy. He's got a Ferrari, and look at that guy. He's got that big house. And I just want to live a great life. I want to live a life of freedom, a life where I don't have to sell my hours, where I can have a great family life, a great work-life balance, and not have to sell my fucking hours. And those are the people who I talk to and who I inspire, and primarily from the standpoint of being able to create predictable, recurring revenue streams. And how do we do that? We do that through creating Amazon seller accounts, creating amazing products that change people's lives, and selling those products on the Amazon platform. There's been more millionaires and billionaires that will be created through the Amazon platform, this great e-commerce disruptor that Jeff Bezos has built than any other e-commerce method, system, world, whatever you want to call it. And there is a huge opportunity now for normal people, even the mom in Michigan, if she can get that time together to do this, to create predictable recurring revenue streams by creating Amazon businesses.
So there's a lot of resistance in some communities to Amazon, and whether because it's too big or it's not local and things like that. But I mean, there are so many opportunities on that platform for you to create a recurring revenue, and even if it is just $20 a week to start out, that's a heat bill, that's or an electric bill, to get you started. What how do you I'm not asking you to defend Amazon, but what do you say to those
So,
people?
so again, I want to change your mindset on this a little, Jerry.
Mhm.
So I don't speak to the people who can't pay their heat bills or their gas bills or any of that kind of stuff, right? If that's your situation, if you are at absolute zero or below zero, and you're in a desperate situation like that, you have to think foundational. And your first step will be to try to gather up $10,000 in savings. Right? It's you have to have $10,000 in not just savings but disposable income, I should say. Your savings is what you're going to need for an emergency, but $10,000 in disposable income. And if you don't have that, then you got to get a job. You got to work. You got to drive Uber. You got to work at a restaurant. You got to work your fingers to the bone. And if you're not there, I'm sorry you're not there, but those aren't the people who will benefit from my message. So if you are in that situation, don't buy my book. Go work in the gig economy. Go figure out what your hustle is going to be so that you can have that. The people who I speak to are people who do have some level of support in their lives where they don't have to worry about where the next meal is coming from, but that they want to get to the next level in their life. They want to they see in that horizon that $1 million plus yearly money that they could be bringing in, and they want to get it, but they don't see a path to it. And that's what I talk about. Now, as far as Amazon goes, look, when the first cars came out, I'm sure there's some fucking dude in a horse-driven carriage looking like right by his side going, those fucking assholes, that'll never take off.
Mhm.
And that's really what it is with Amazon. Amazon's here to stay. It is a market disruptor, and it's not going anywhere, not anytime soon, unless some crazy technology comes and disrupts it. So your choice is you can play the game and create another stream of recurring revenue, learn how to make some money on there. And that dude in that horse buggy will be going by and going, oh, look at that asshole. And pretty soon that dude's going to be in that fucking buggy driven horse, and there'll be cars whizzing by him. It's taking him 8 hours to get to work, and he has to get out and pick up the poop from the horses and whatever while he curses at those other cars. And you'll be one of those guys in that car going past him, because you got to keep up with the times. And Amazon is a disruptor. And yes, okay, so any disruptive business is going to create fans and create haters. And sure, right? When Walmart came out, or when I should say, when Walmart grew dramatically and their stock value drew, and we started seeing cities in America become Walmartized, and there was a lot of lashback about that. But you never hear people talking about the value that they bring, about the jobs that they bring. And really, is it them? Is it really like the big corporations that are causing the dissolving of the American dream? Or is it the fact that we have to change the structure of how we work, and that things are changing, and that corporations do what corporations do, which is look out for the corporation? And it's really easy, Jerry, to hate on someone like Jeff Bezos, or to hate on something like Amazon or Elon Musk or any of these companies. But I would challenge you to say, look, this is really what's making America one of the greatest countries in the world, is that we allow freedom of industry here. And it's that freedom that builds society. With it, yes, you do get some problems. You get monopolization. You get unfair, trade to some respects. You get all these kinds of things. But it's not a perfect system, capitalism, but it's the best that we have.
Yeah. What about how do you feel? So capitalism, that I think it's the best we have too. I think entrepreneurialism is very innovative and creative and solves problems that we face as a society. I mean, that is the entrepreneur's job, is to solve people's problems. Where do you fall in like a consumerism mindset where people think they're, you're just addicted to shopping type of thing? You got any
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I go a couple different ways on that. So way number one is I'm a minimalist in life, and I don't believe in buying stuff that I don't need really. Sure, I'm wealthy. I've got plenty of capital. I don't have to worry about money. I can buy whatever I want, and it wouldn't affect my life one way or another. I mean, unless I'm buying some crazy super yacht or something like that, which I'm not really into. Most people I know that are in high levels of wealth, which I mean $10 million and up, I would say, if we're going to put a measure on it, aren't really thing people. Meaning that, okay, they might have a nice house or two, and they might have a nice car, but they're not really a type of person that collects things. I am not a collector of things. I'm a collector of experiences. And my idea and my thought early on was, look, when I start making a lot of money, and I always knew I would make a lot of money, not because I was cocky, but because I had no alternative, I thought, I'm going to become a collector of experiences, because things you can't take with you. And now what I do mainly is I take my family. I've got a beautiful wife and son, and I've got an 8-year-old, and we travel all over the world. And while we're traveling, people are buying our products on Amazon. We're making money while we sleep. And we spend our most money that we spend is on travel. We go to amazing places. We just came back from Mexico City, from 2 weeks in Mexico City, where we visited the pyramids and experienced the real streets of Mexico City, and their food and their culture, and just did a fully immersive experience there. And that's really, I think, one of the greatest values out there. Things are great. I love cars. I collect exotic cars, and those are fun, and they come and go, and I buy them and sell them as sometimes as quickly as I get them. And that's not a big deal for me. I've been doing that for years, and I don't get attached to things. But what I do get attached to is experience. I couldn't imagine a life where I'm not constantly going out there and having these amazing life experiences. And you can't do that if you're selling your hours. So ultimately, what you have to get out of is the trap of selling your hours. And that's what we teach. And that's what we teach through our Amazon FBA Mastery course. By the way, anybody who's watching this, if you guys reach out to me, I've got a 1-hour course that teaches you everything about Amazon, how to find a product, how to get reviews, how to order it from China, how to start your company. And it's normally $200 for everybody that's listening to Jerry on the Fledge. Use code FLEDGE and I will give it to you for free. That's $0. I've got nothing to sell today on this program. I just want you guys to start an Amazon business and try to create another predictable, recurring revenue stream. So if you guys want to do that, I'm going to give you my email right now. It's darkzess@gmail.com. darkzess@gmail.com. If you're interested in my story, my book, Billion, How I Became King of the Thrill Pill Cult, is out now on Audible and Amazon. And I'm super excited for people to hear about the story. We just got a film deal, Jerry. So that's very exciting. There'll be a film coming out very soon. We start in April shooting that. So I'm excited about that. And there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. But at the end of the day, look, for anybody who I'm coaching, for anybody who I'm mentoring, for anybody who I'm trying to inspire, you got to get out of the trap of selling your hours. And you do that by creating businesses that create predictable revenue for you. And the best way to do that, I feel right now at this particular point in history, is through Amazon.
So how does somebody get to that mindset? Because everybody is, I mean, especially like in a blue collar town like Lansing traditionally has been, it's, you know, I want to go to we talk about that hourly wage, right? And it's built into our speech. You know, the jobs at Walmart are $15 an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
How do people start to believe? Like what nudges them?
Get the fuck out of there. That's what I'm saying. Because I'll tell you why. If you are somewhere where the people around you are bringing you down, if you are somewhere where the atmosphere is not endorsing and encouraging who you want to be, if you do not have access to people who inspire you, who bring you up, get the fuck out of there. Go somewhere where you feel inspired, where you feel encouraged. Now, there might be a lot of people who go, okay, well, where I'm at, I feel inspired. Good. So stay there. But if it's not inspiring you, if it's not encouraging you, if it is not bringing you up, get the fuck out of there. It's just like people tell me, oh man, I want to be successful, but my buddies keep putting me down. Look, you are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I forget who said that, but it's a great saying. So if you're hanging around people that are not big thinkers, people that are not above you, people that are, and by above you, I mean above you in life, that are succeeding, that are creating things, creating wealth, doing great things. If you're around people that are of a poverty mindset, where are you going to be? You're going to land somewhere in between those 5. So you have to break away. You have to do what I did. You have to do what Tony Robbins calls a pattern interrupt. Or Grinder from NLP talks about that. You got to break the pattern. And sometimes being in a small town is a real fucking letdown for you because it's keeping you down. So get the fuck out of there. Come to LA, come to Austin, come to Miami, come to one of these towns where there's stuff happening. Now, there is the rare person that can stay in a small town and still succeed. And especially now with COVID and the internet and whatever's going on, if you're that person, do it. But if you're the person who's been there all your life and you keep whacking your head against the wall going, why the fuck am I not making it? Well, you have to have access. You need access to people. You need access to resources. You need access to network. You need access to opportunities. And if it's not happening where you're at, pack your shit up and go.
And at some level, though, you're saying Amazon's bringing that to your doorstep through their platform, though, as well, right? There's lots of opportunity on Amazon. And by the way, my daughter lives in Los Angeles. She works for Cedars-Sinai. And so she's in basically Beverly Hills.
There you go. Great access. Look, you usually can move to a place where there is great wealth around you and access to wealth. And really, you can live adjacent to that place. And the cost of living adjacent to that place compared to what you're earning there isn't going to be that much different than living in a smaller town and having no opportunities. You got to go, especially if you're in that phase of your career where you're trying to make things happen. You have to go to where the opportunities are.
So, the again, you're talking to a specific segment of customers or people. It's not the single mother. It's not the people that are trying to get into recovery and all of this. You're talking to, I don't want everyone to go quit their jobs today and they don't have, they're evicted and they're camping outside of Portland in a camper or
No,
whatever. Yeah.
no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that, Jerry. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't leave your job. You're right, buddy. You shouldn't. But like I said, if that's where you're at in life, you got to work until you've got $10,000 that you could burn tomorrow in disposable income and be okay with it. Why? Because that allows you to take risks. So that should be your first goal, right? First goal should be stability. Second goal should be to create $10,000 that you can invest in a business, in a venture, in something. And if that money burns tomorrow, that you're not going to be thrilled with it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And if you have that kind of flexibility, then those are the people who I'd like to talk to. Those are the people who I inspire.
Okay. And so do you teach entrepreneurialism that's very focused on e-commerce, or you're the whole gambit of what people might need?
Yeah, I teach everything about how to succeed, but my course right now primarily is focused on Amazon because it's the quickest path to being able to achieve a stream of recurring revenue. Now, I teach my students how to get involved in cash flow positive real estate. We talk a little bit about investments and creating residual income through investing in stocks. And I don't recommend any specific stocks, but I show a process. At the end of the day, it's really about, are you going to be the kind of person who succeeds at no matter what you do? Or are you going to be the kind of person who's selling your hours? And it's okay if you decide, there's people in the world who are like, look, my objective in life is to become a teacher and I want to do that. And I'm going to let go of the idea of money. And that's okay. We need people like that. And that's fine. You're never going to be rich being a school teacher. Just doesn't happen. Not really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if that's what you want to do, and that's a noble undertaking, there's some people who want to become policemen and policewomen, and that's great. We need those people in society. The people I talk to are the people who want to be entrepreneurs, who don't want to sell their hours, and who want to create a product or service and create predictable recurring revenue, and to have what I call freedom, being able to do what you want, when you want, how you want, with who you want.
So how does you get to get that savings mentality, right? Is it important even if you just put $1 in a jar every week? I mean, is that a start of that mindset change?
No, that's still you being in that fucking poverty mentality. $1 isn't going to do shit. What? $365 a year. I spent more than that on sushi last night. Like, that's not going to help you. You have to create $10,000 in call it a nest egg or whatever it is that you could burn tomorrow. That's not gonna affect your lifestyle in one way or another. And in order to do that, you're going to need a lot more than $1 in a cookie jar. You're going to need $10,000. So how hard is it to get $10,000? Not that hard these days. Not really. Not really. If you go out there and drive Uber, I know Uber drivers that are making over $6,000 a month now. If you get part of the gig economy, if you go work, there's plenty of work out there. There's plenty of hustles. There's the gig economy. There's Upwork. There's Fiverr. There's so many different ways where somebody who is willing and able, who has the energy to go out there, can create that amount of money. And once you do that, you become uniquely qualified to get into the next phase, which is, okay, so now I've got this $10,000. How do I deploy that? How do I deploy those little soldiers out there to go make me more? And there's a lot of different answers to that. I believe Amazon is one of the best ways to do that. You can create a really solid Amazon predictable recurring revenue business for right about $10,000. And I've got students that are doing 50,000. I've got clients that are doing $100,000 a month, $200,000 a month. I've got clients that are way up there in the 8-figure category. And all that is very possible on Amazon. I know if you're not making that kind of money, it seems like it's way out there in the ether, but really it's very achievable as far as what Amazon stands for. And again, for anybody who's interested, you can email me darkzess@gmail.com. Use the code Jerry or the Fledge, and I will give that to you for free. It's a DARKZESS@gmail.com. But please, if you are at, like where Jerry is saying, and you don't have enough money for the basics, go get that first. You got to take it one step at a time and build foundationally. You're not going to build a house until you have a foundation. And your foundation has to be stability, and priority always should be family first. So if you're a single mom, a single dad, a married mom, a married dad, your priority, I believe, should be always to your family first.
I've got a guy upstairs right now. I'm going to go talk to him and have him do your class for sure. But I'll talk to a lot of other people. But he's right in the spot that you're saying someone needs to be, and see if he's interested in that.
Love it.
Yeah. I usually ask, what's the advice, a simple thing that somebody could do right today? And I think it's fucking stop, is what you've clearly said. Change that mindset. But you probably have something else. What would you like to tell us? What should we do? What's a simple thing?
Well, so it's going to be different, right? There's a lot of people out there that give general advice. I'm not a big general advice giver because it's going to be different. It's going to be different for you. It's going to be different for the person listening to you, right? If you're a single mom and you're in Michigan and you're having life troubles, look, your objective should be stability of that child and that family, or those children and that family. And that's going to be very different from a 20-year-old that's like, man, I'm in this small town and everybody's drinking beer and hanging out on the train tracks and nobody's going anywhere. I want to do something with my life. Or somebody who's like, I'm 40, I've been working my fingers to the bone every day in my life, and I'm just on that hamster wheel. I get home, I'm tired, I turn on the fucking Netflix, and I fall asleep. I wake up and I repeat and I repeat. How do I get out of that? How do I get out of that trap? Those are the people who I believe should be taking that next step. And that next step should be thinking about how you can create a stream. And start with one stream of predictable recurring revenue. How do you do that? You're right, Jerry. You have to change your mindset. And sometimes you need a physical change, a geographical change, but you need something that interrupts the pattern, something that breaks the fucking hamster wheel that you've been on for however long you've been on. But please reach out to me if anybody's watching this. darkzess@gmail.com. I'll give you the 1-hour course for free. That's DARKZESS@gmail.com. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about how I think and how I teach and train people, check out my book, Billion, How I Became King of the Thrill Pill Cult. Look, I make no money from the book. I'll tell you guys this. I think it's $1 now if you get it on Amazon, but that's just because that's, I believe, the lowest price point that Amazon, the digital book, I should say, allows authors to sell their books. But what I wanted to share is that you can learn a lot. There's so much information out there for free. And when we watch this content, there are actions that we can take. So when you guys finish watching this show, I want you to see if you can order my book and read the book. Okay. There's an Audible book. If you prefer listening to books, you can do that. But aside from that, see if you can take one action step to creating at least $10,000 that you can burn tomorrow in a bonfire and be okay with. If you already have that, reach out to me and let's think about how to make that $10,000 into $10 million. And if you believe it's possible, if you believe one way or another, I believe the world will prove you right.
Great advice. Thank you so much. Thanks for the positive energy that you bring to it. And thanks for also being sensitive to the other populations that might be watching and listening, and understanding that you have that niche there and you're talking to that segment. But the other advice for those other populations is also really solid. So appreciate that very, very much, Shaahin.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you having me on. And thanks so much. Again, the book, Billion, How I Became King of the Thrill Pill Cult. Guys, if you like us, if you hate us, make sure to leave a message, comment, contribute. I've got a podcast called Hack and Grow Rich. If you guys want to troll us, please do so. Leave positive, negative comments, whatever you want to say. We'd love to hear from you. And thanks again for having me on, Jerry. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.